All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, you see it on the screen here, we're going to be exploring some Marshall D Teach, some Blackbeard. We haven't gone over this in about 2 months on the channel. And guys, I had already been working on a list that was not running Ice Age. As crazy as that might sound, before I even knew about the bans, I had been working on a list with Blackbeard that did not run Ice Age. And of course, it didn't run Gecko Moria. That's not really Blackbeard's thing. So let's do this, guys. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and dive into today's deck list, or excuse me, rather into today's video. First things first, we're going to be checking out the deck list. From there, we're going to head over to the sim. We got 5 games on the sim, and then we'll finish off the video by checking out the deck list one more time. We'll kind of, bring it back full circle, and I'll tell you guys what I think about Blackbeard going forward. Will it still work without Ice Age? I think so, guys. We'll have to see that. We'll talk about that more as we get into the video. Okay, all right. So with that in mind, I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description for you guys to skip around to wherever you want to in the video. I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and things like that in the comment section below. And guys, if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below as well. Or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. This video is sponsored by Nin Garden. Their latest spring collection just dropped with 3 new designs, and to celebrate, they are running a spring sale. Buy one, get any classic mat 40% off with the code SPRINGSALE. Plus, use NIN10 for an automatic 10% off at the checkout. You can stack this with my promo code, the VV Theory, for an additional 5% off, bringing you to a total of 15% total savings on top of the 40% off. All right, guys, let's go and break down the deck list for today's video. We're going to start off with the leader and kind of move through it from there. This is a 5,000 power, 5 life leader here, Marshall D Teach, 4 Emperors and Blackbeard Pirates type. It has your on play abilities do not activate. I think it should say your on play effects do not activate. And then activate main, you may trash 1 card from your hand. And then until the end of your opponent's next turn, your opponent's on play effects do not activate either. Okay, so that's really, really powerful. It kind of, how do I say this? Playing against Marshall D Teach and playing Marshall D Teach, it's a very unique experience because it really changes the dynamics of a standard one-piece game. Excuse me. For the newer players out there who might not be aware, in most decks, the more powerful characters or the most powerful characters in each deck, they typically have a very powerful on-play effect. Well, Marshall D Teach says, okay, well, I'm just going to turn those off. And now we'll see how your deck operates. Okay, but we don't get to use on-play effects either, so it does go both ways. And if we want to shut off our opponent's on-play effects, we do have to trash a card every time we do that, at least once a turn. You just have to do it once a turn. It's not for each effect, right? Just once a turn. It makes it where your opponent cannot activate their on-play effects for their until the end of their next turn. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and go through the rest of the list here. Excuse me. We have Van Augur. So some of these cards we've already known about. I will post my, I will link my last Blackbeard video in the comment section below for you to check out if you don't know what any of these cards do if you're a brand new player. But go ahead and pause and read some of these older cards if you don't know what they do. Okay, so we're running 4 Van Augur, 4 Burgess, 4 Shiryu, 4 Stronger, 4 Doc Q, 4 Marshall D Teach, 4 Lafitte. Now for some of the newer cards, we will pause and talk about this for a minute. 4 Kuzan. So this is one of the new cards coming out in OP10 for us. We're just now getting this in the West. At the time you're recording this video, I believe OP10 will be live starting tomorrow. We had the pre-releases over last weekend at the time you're recording this. And so we're still kind of stuck with the pre-sale prices as well. Let me just mention that real quick. Other than this card, which we don't know how expensive it's going to be just yet, this entire deck list that you're seeing, other than Kuzan, is something like $55 USD at the time of me recording this video. The only expensive card in here is the Shigan Finger Pistol, and I will talk about ways to replace this, in just a moment. But this card's going for like $10 a card USD, again, at the time of me recording this. But other than this one card, this deck would be like $15 or $20. It is an insanely cheap deck otherwise. And even still, 50 or 60 bucks for a deck, it's hard to complain about that. And this is going to be a very competitive deck going forward. So real quick, let's talk about Kuzan. We don't know how much this card's going to cost just yet, but it's a 5-cost, 5,000 power SR character from OP10. It has this character cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's effects. Okay, so remember, we're already turning off very powerful on-play effects with our leader. Well, now, even if they have something on the board, you're not removing this character. It's physically not possible, right? I think the only way you'd be able to deal with a character like this is if you used a card like Black Hole here that has, if your leader has the Blackbeard Pirates type, choose up to one of your opponent's characters and negate their effect for this turn. So we'll turn off his effect, and then we can KO him if we can get him down to 4 or less. So I think that's the only way we can even deal with a card like this in the game. Otherwise, you're going to have to find some type of activate main effect to maybe rest him down and run into him and get him out of the game that way. But then it has another really powerful effect. Check this out, guys. So again, 5 cost 5k cannot be removed from the field by opponent's effects. Activate main, you may trash this character, draw 1 card, then play up to 1 Blackbeard Pirates type character card with a cost of 5 or less other than Kuzan from your trash. So you're going to be able to play out cards like Van Augur, cards like Burgess, cards like the Shiryu we're about to talk about in a minute, but any of these other cards, the 2 main targets currently are Van Augur and Burgess, and you're drawing a card. It just ends up being a very powerful play here. This card is really good, but we'll talk more about this as we go through the games because I think you're going to be surprised at some of the things you see in today's videos. Excuse me. There are 2 other new cards to go over. First up is Shiryu. This is not, remember, we already have the 2k counter Shiryu. This is a new one here. This is a 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter. It's from OP10. It has, on your opponent's turn, this character gains plus 2,000 power. So after you swing with this character, it's going to be very hard for them to swing into this character to remove it. Because he'll be a 4 cost 7k, right? He still has a 1k counter, and then activate main once per turn. If this is the turn this card was played, and if your leader type is Blackbeard Pirates, if your leader has the type Blackbeard Pirates, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 3 or less. It has to be an original cost, by the way, but this card is outstanding. This card is excellent for what we're trying to do in Blackbeard. It's just a great thing to play early on curve. It's a 4 cost character. So if we're going second, our opponent goes first, right? So they play out a 1 cost character. Our turn, we play out a 2. You know, we have 2 Dawn. We can do whatever we need with it. Maybe play out a Doc Q or something like that. And then our opponent's on their turn 3 play. They'll play out a 3 cost character, theoretically, right? That might be their plays, playing out a 2 or 3 cost character. Okay, no problem. Slam down Shiryu on our 4 cost play here. We get rid of your character and we're moving on, right? This is a very, very solid addition to the deck. I'm probably going to go up 2 of these after today's video, after talking about it, and we'll talk more about that towards the end of the video. Okay, next up is Shigan Finger Pistol. We're running 4 of these. 4 of This Is My Age or This Is My Era. 4 Liberation. I think the technical name is Black Hole or Black Vortex or something like that. Then we have 2 Liberations. I believe this card should be called Liberation like it says. And then we have 2 Hachinosa or Full of Lead. This is supposed to be a stage. Don't let the brown border or like the tannish brown, yellow, gold border or whatever, don't let that trick you. This should be a blue border like this. This is a stage, okay? It's just put in incorrectly in the sim, okay? So there is one card that I want to talk about that I did not add. It kind of just slipped my mind when I was putting this deck together. Because, guys, I put this deck together actually some time ago before the bans had even happened. And I was trying to put together a deck with Marshall D. Teach that wasn't even running Ice Age. But one card I would like to add, you know, after kind of looking at this, is this card right here. This is a 1 cost, 2,000 power, 2k counter blocker. That's already good enough, obviously. Here's why it's so good. If you want to play this card out, excuse me, if you want to play this card out, it has an on play, but you have to trash 2 cards from your hand. Well, I've got good news. Remember what our leader does? Our on play effects do not activate. So we don't even have to worry about trying to use this card. Or excuse me, about having to get hit with the on play effect. We don't get affected by it at all. Okay, so with that in mind, this is a card I do want to add to the deck. We'll talk about adding this towards the end of the video, though. Just be patient there. But this card, I think, is a very good addition to the deck. Now, real quick, if you do not have Shigan Finger Pistol, I would just suggest going, okay, -4 of them and going +2 Liberation, +2 Hachinosa. Easy peasy, very, very easy fix, right, guys? You can just go up 2 here, and then you can go, let me type in Blackbeard right here. Oh, that's not it, and right here. Just go this if you don't want to afford the Shigan Finger Pistols, if you want to keep this deck as low to the cost, like as low to the ground as possible with cost, and also get rid of 2 Kuzans and go up 2 of these Shiryus, these new Shiryus here, and then you're good to go. This is about as cheap as a deck can get and still be very, very competitive. Now, again, the list we're going to be running today looks like this, okay? I was just trying to show you guys an example of how to drop the list down, drop the cost of the list down and go about things that way. But if you know, if that's not a problem. I think as is, this list looks pretty good. We are going to make 2 major revisions at the end of the video. We'll talk about more when we get there. Okay, all right, let's do this, guys. Let's go ahead and get into some games on the sim here. First game up is going to be against Enel. Let me go. 2x speed, volume is off. Let me see if I can do this properly real quick. Beautiful. There we go. We got the camera back where we need it. So, again, volume is off. Speed is on 2x, and here we go. First game up is going to be against Enel. Now, Enel just got nerfed as well. They no longer have Rygo. And they were already struggling against Blackbeard. Now I think the matchup is going to be even better for Blackbeard, if that's possible, unless people move over to a different direction for the game. They're gonna play out Zeus to pop Doc Q. They lose a life like that. They're gonna swing in for 7, and we're gonna take that. That's fine. We'll swing in for 5 here. They'll probably take this as well. That's pretty normal. Okay, they actually countered out. They said, hey, I'm a little too low on life. We're going to play off the Van Augur. We're going to trash a card from our hand with our leader's effect, and we are going to turn off our opponent's on play effects. They're going to swing for 6. We'll probably give them a 2K here because they're probably just going to swing for 7 with the rest. Yep. Make sure you try to map out what else your opponent can do for the turn before you're countering out. So right here, I think we probably should get rid of this card, this Zeus card. Okay, they do take that. It ended up being an on-play effect. We don't care about that. We're going to play out the Shiryu. We weren't attacking with Van Augur, guys. That was not happening this turn. I was just trying to get them down to 1 life. And now on this turn, we can start attacking into them. We play out Lafitte. We fix our hand a little bit. And now in this situation, they're going to go for the Lafitte. And they have no on-play effects, right? We don't have to trash a life card. They don't get to gain a life card with that 7-cost Lin. Their whole turn was just play a 7-cost 8K vanilla, which is not very efficient. Okay, so right here, we're going to swing for 5. They have to give us something here because we have 2 relevant attacks left on the board. Well, now we're going to swing in, we're going to -3 to the cost of the Lin, KO it with the Liberation. We're going to play out the stage. We're going to start fixing our hand. We're going to trash a card for the turn. Let's see what we end up trashing here, probably the Van Augur. And they don't get an on-play effect. So they can't gain life. They can't do anything. They're going to go 8 into 6. We're actually going to take that to draw a card. They're going to play out another Lin. Now, watch this, guys. Make sure you understand how this interaction works here. Pause. What did we just do? We played out the Marshall D Teach. What does that do? Remember, guys, remember what the 10-cost Marshall D Teach does? Let me hit play real quick and we'll pause on it. Okay. It's a 10-cost 12,000 power blocker, but activate main once per turn if your leader has the type Blackbeard Pirates, and if this character was played this turn, up to 1 of your opponent's leader effects are negated for the rest of the turn. Okay, and then up to 1 of your opponent's characters' effects are negated until the end of your opponent's next turn, and that character cannot attack. Okay, so what we just did here by playing this out is we said, hey, you know that really annoying effect that Enel has? You don't get to use it now. So in other words, if I hit him for 5 and he takes it, he doesn't gain a life back, guys. That's how powerful this effect is into Enel. Okay, so here we go. We're going to use the effect. We're going to shut down their stuff here. We're going to swing for 5. Let's see what happens. We're going to shut off their on-play effects in case they have anything from the trigger. We're going to swing for 5, swing for 5, swing for 7. This is going to be a 2K, 1K here, or 0-cost 3K. We're going to trash a card from hand. We're looking for our next Marshall D Teach. That's what we're looking for. So we grab a 2K counter. It's our opponent's turn. We have 2 7Ks on the board. There goes Rygo. Remember, that card's gone now, guys. They won't even have access to that card. They're going to go 9 into 7. We're just going to let it go. We're going to do a top 3 search with our effect here, getting another Teach, shutting down their effect again. We're going to swing in for 5. They take it. We're swinging in for 8. The game's over. They couldn't get a life back because we shut off their leader's effect with our Marshall D Teach. And remember, guys, I don't think we'd have needed to do that search right there if we had if Rygo was already gone like it should be. Some of these games were recorded before the bans and restriction. Okay. All right, first game there was against Enel. Next game, we got a game versus Blackbeard Betty. People are saying, yeah, but Blackbeard Betty should be able to keep this deck in line. You know, these faster, more aggressive decks should be able to keep it in line. And I agree to an extent. I do agree that the faster decks will probably be the hardest thing for Marshall D Teach to deal with, but I don't think it's just going to be a free win. We'll have to see what happens. You know, you never know, but I don't think it'll just be a free win. Okay, we're going to swing in for 5 here. We're going to play out the Shiryu, just KOing their 3-cost or lower character right off the bat here. We're going to trash a card from hand, and they're not getting any on-play effects, guys. They're not getting any on-play effects. We're not going to let them have that for the whole game. Now, Emporio Ivankov is very good here. Excuse me, they're going to go ahead and play out a character with the Emporio Ivankov's effect. They're going to swing for 6. We're probably just going to 2K counter out of this. We want to stay as high life as we can. But we have a lot of options here. Let's see what we choose to do. We're probably going to do a search first. Seems good. Now, we didn't get a great search. We did get another Lafitte. We're probably about to just fill the board out here, guys. We're going to grab some 2K counters, grab some searchers, do whatever we have to. There's a Burgess. Play out another Lafitte. We'll grab a... we're not going to... So the 10-cost Marshall D Teach is not great in this matchup. You're probably only going to need one over the course of the entire game. Okay, we're going to trash a card, turn off their on-play effects. We'll swing 5. We'll swing 5. Their turn. Let's see what they want to do. So they're probably thinking my board's about to go away, right? And they're probably right about that because they do have Lindbergh here. They're going to play out the Karasu, but I have Black Hole turned on. They cannot use their on-play effects. But here we go. They're going to swing 5 into 1. We're going to let that go gladly. They're going to go 8 into face, removing one of my the Lafitte's here. And I'm really hoping they get rid of this other Lafitte so I can play out the Black Hole, or excuse me, the Liberation. Okay, they're going to go 11 into 7. Nice. That was really, really good for us, guys. So here we go. This is what I'm trying to say, guys. It's good to see how these, it's good to see how the deck works, how it functions, and, like, how do I say this? Not just how the deck works and functions, but how to play against it as well. I was excited to lose my 5-cost 7K character there. Why? Why am I excited to lose my 5-cost 7K? Or my 4-cost 7K? Because now I can use my 6-cost Liberation to pop 2 characters on their board. You can only use that card if your opponent has 2 or more characters than you do on the board. Well, he has 3, I have 1. Now I can use it, and I can go for the board now. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and get rid of his 2 best characters there. We're going to slam 7 into 5. Can he save the card? He can save the card. We're going to go ahead and trash a card from our hand, the Kuzan here, and that way we're going to turn off their effects for the turn. Now, Betty is now down to 2 cards left in hand, and they're probably in a refresh phase here. They're going to trash a card and buff up as hard as they can. They're going to swing 6 into 5 here. We will get out of this attack, and then we'll take the other 2. They're going to get rid of my Lafitte. That's fine. We got a Shigan Finger Pistol. That was a really nice trigger to get off the top. And then they're going to swing in with the Dragon. We're down to 1 life. We are going to play out the Marshall D Teach here. We're probably going to swing first. We'll trash a card first in case there's any kind of on-play effect in their triggers. Then we're going to use this, and then we're going to shut down their whole turn. We have 1 life. They cannot attack with Monkey D Dragon. Again, guys, they only have 1 life. They're going to play out Inazuma and a Karasu. Uh-oh, I've got a Liberation in hand. That card's gone. So, boom, there goes that card. They can pretty much just leave this point. I was going to trash a card from hand just in case they had any on-play effects, but it was going to be shut down the Koala. Everything at face here. It was going to be swing for, what is this? Swing 11, swing 12, good game. Okay, that was a fun one. That was against Betty. Next up, we got a game versus Blue-Purple Luffy. How does the deck do against Blue-Purple Luffy? Remember, guys, we're not running Ice Ages. We are not running Ice Age in this list. Okay, so this is a completely legal list currently in the West, or will be technically tomorrow, right? Because tomorrow is when OP10 goes live for us. At the time you're recording this video, I'm putting it out. All right, here we go, guys. I'm doing some searching early on. Or what just happened? Oh, we took a hit there. That's fine. We get rid of the Zora with the Liberation. We're going to trash a card from hand, and now they can't use any on-play effects. And they play out a Nami. It's just a 5-cost 6K blocker. That's all it is. Okay, right here, it looks like we're going to play out the Kuzan. I like the idea of searching as well, though. Let's see what we choose to do here. Okay, we're going to grab a Burgess here. I like the idea of just swinging 6 with leader and playing out a Burgess. We're going to trash card from hand just in case they have any on-play effect. Okay, that trigger activates the main. Seems good. It doesn't activate any kind of on-play effect, so they got around that. We're going to play out the Burgess. That's already a 7,000 power Burgess. They're swinging 6 into 5. We do have 2Ks in hand, but we're not using them yet. We are not going to show our hand just yet. Okay. Excuse me, guys. Throat's going crazy right now. It's that allergies. The pollen's... A lot of craziness going on with the pollen where I live right now. Okay, so we do need to get something going here. We need to attack into the board in some way or start attacking in the face. I think we should go for the board here. We're going to play out the Burgess with the Kuzan. We're cycling through our deck to draw a card. Looks like we might go swing 7, swing 8. Let's see what we do with this. We'll swing 8 into the Nami. That's going to cost 2 cards out of hand. A 1-cost event. They're going to have to use a 0-cost 3K to trash a card with it. Okay, that's fine. We'll trash a card. We're going to swing 8 into 6 now. Did you guys notice what happened there? Guys, how did my Burgess gain a plus 1,000 power? So watch this. I swing for 8 first before using... excuse me. I have already used my leader effect for the turn. So he thinks that I'm going to swing 8 and then 7. Right? Watch what happens, though. Marshall D Teach's leader effect is not once per turn. Now, the effect only happens like once per turn. It happens, and then your opponent's effects are turned off. However, I can keep trashing cards from my hand to buff characters on my board like Burgess. Okay, so watch what happens. He thinks, okay, I'm swinging for 8 into 6, and then I've got a 7 into 6. He's like, okay, I should be fine. Watch this. We trash another card to buff our Burgess to 8. We're swinging 8 into 6 again. You want to give me 2 more cards? The answer is absolutely not. He does not want to do that. And now we're getting through. And now we have an 8,000 power character on the board. He's going to swing 6 here. We're going to 2K counter out. Okay, he's getting very aggressive now. He's even swinging in with his blockers. And his on-play effects aren't going to happen. Okay, Katakuri's not too bad for us to deal with. The big card for us to try to deal with is actually the 8-cost Luffy, the Rush Luffy, the blue one. We're going to go 8 into 6 here. Let's see what he wants to do. We have another 8K attack coming in. He's going to go ahead and Gum Giant right now. He's saying, I need to get this card going right now or I'm in trouble. He's going to 2K, 1K. That was not a misplay. He couldn't use his Katakuri, right? I mean, it might have been a misplay to not just let it go, but we turned off his Katakuri's effect, okay? Okay, they're going to go 6 into 7 here. We're going to 2K counter to get out of that. And they're going to play out a 9 Lin. It doesn't do anything. They can't activate any of their on-play effects. And here we go. We're going to trash a card from hand. We're going to trash the finger pistol. We're swinging at 9, 9, 12. Okay, we might not swing with our final character, actually, but I think we probably will. We're swinging in for 9 more. Okay, do we let this go, guys? Hang on, I'm trying to do a little bit of math. Notice I'm trying to do the math here. I've got 4K counter in hand, and I'm saying, you know what? If this guy, he might be able to math me out of the... Actually, excuse me. He cannot swing with the Katakuri, guys. He can't swing with his 8-cost Katakuri because I turned off his attack with the Martial D Teach. So I have 2 blockers and a life. He only has 3 attacks. So he can't get through, and I had 2K in hand just to help out here and there wherever I might have needed it. And yeah, good game to my opponent. Next turn I was going to go all in, and we had another Martial D Teach. It was going to be, okay, lock down your Katakuri again. There goes your blocker for a 3rd time in a row, and now I'm swinging what would probably be 10, 10, 12, 12. And it's going to be very hard for them to get out of that one. Okay, good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. Blue-Purple Luffy. I think Blackbeard will be able to deal with that. What about Shanks, guys? Shanks is a pretty good matchup for everybody right now, for those who are not aware. Volume's off, speed is on 2x. Here we go. How does this deck do against Shanks? This deck is actually pretty decent against Shanks. I think it's actually just a really good matchup. So we get the stage down right away. We're going to trash a card with it, and we're going to get a Lafitte here. We're trying to fill up our trash as quickly as we can and get through our deck as quickly as we can. We're going to trash a Kuzan. Notice I haven't been playing many Kuzans. Keep that in mind when we go to the end of the video, guys. So we do a search with Full of Lead or Hachinosa, whatever you want to call it. We play out Lafitte. We're going to do some more searching. We got a 10 cost now. We're going to swing for 6. This will probably just get a 1K counter. Leader effect, 1K counter. But they only have 5 cards in hand. They're going to take that. I don't really hate that play from my opponent. I think that was actually a pretty good play. So we're going to turn off on-play effects. They're on their 5 Dawn turn. That's when I would suggest you start doing the on-play effect removal or however you want to call it for Blackbeard. That's when I would start doing it. Going 5 into my face here, I do not think was the right call for my opponent here. This is super aggressive, guys, and now they're actually playing directly into my hand here. I can do a lot of stuff from this point. So right here, we are going to fill up our trash some more. We're going to grab some cards. We're going to do a top 3 search with the stage. Now we're just going to look at our hand now, guys. So we're going to get rid of the Lucky Roo. Now we're going to swing 6 into this card. He's going to have to give me a leader effect and a 2K to get out of this, or leader effect 1K, 1K potentially. Let's see what he's doing. Okay, you can't... Oh, he trashed the Divine Departure to go +2. Gotcha. I didn't know what was going on there. Okay. Okay, we are going to counter out of this. We're down to just 2 life. We turn off his on-play effects. He plays out another back rat and a Tony Chopper. He is filling out the board very aggressively with the blockers here, but hey, we're doing just fine. We're actually not in trouble just yet. We're doing okay. We have a lot of ways to draw right here. So we're going to play out the Van Augur. We're going to -3 to the Chopper. We're going to get rid of that card. We're going to swing 6 into 5. And then we're probably going to trash yet another Kuzan just so we can keep cycling through our deck with the Hachinosas. Because we really want to get to all of our 10-cost 12K teaches and just turn this game on its head. We'll just end the game like that. Leader effect. Don't forget to do the leader effect, guys. Trashing card. His leader effect is turned off. He has no on-play effects, and it's his turn. Now, we're about to be on our 10 Dawn turn, and they are on their 9 Dawn turn. So we are doing better in that regard. I think going second is a big part of winning this matchup. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comments section below. But generally speaking, I want to go second in this matchup as Blackbeard. I think I want to go second in this matchup as Shanks as well. Okay, he's going to swing in for 7. We're just going to take that, sure. We can't really get around it. He's going to swing in for 7 more. We did get a Shigan Finger Pistol to save our you-know-what's there. We were in trouble otherwise. Now, who knows? He could still have a Kid and Killer. He does not. And, guys, like I said, that was probably what we needed to save us there was that 1 card. Otherwise, another thing we could have done was play a little more defensively and get more 2K counters instead of the 3 Marshall D teaches. And after... This was my first time, I think, first or second time. Like, I have not played this matchup very often, and this is one of my first times playing against this matchup, and I have to say, now after seeing what they're doing, I do think from now on, I will be not going for as many Marshall D teaches, like the actual character, because I didn't realize how aggressive this guy was going to be. I could have been searching for more 2Ks with my stage, as opposed to the Marshall D teaches. Okay, just something to consider. Just something to consider. They're gonna swing for 5. We're gonna 1K counter out. We're gonna block and 2K counter out. And here we go. Now we can shut that down. We're gonna remove that card. We're gonna shut off the Shanks' effect for until the end of their next turn, and then we're gonna swing for 5 into the leader. He can't use his leader effect anymore. We're gonna swing for 6, or excuse me, we're gonna just go ahead and get rid of this Hongo. That card's gone. Now we're gonna use Hachinosa here. We're probably gonna have to get rid. We're gonna have to swing for 12 into face. We have to get him down to 2 life, and we're gonna have to try to win next turn, guys. We don't have a choice. I have 2 1Ks left in my hand. The only thing that he's gonna swing 5. We have to 1K counter out. That means he has another Rush Shanks. We have to give him a Marshall D teach, and now we're all in. We're all in, guys. We don't really have another choice. We don't really have another choice because he has 2 cards on the board that are -2. We're getting -2,000 power right now. So we're going to swing 9, swing 10, swing 11. Or swing 9, swing 10, swing 10, excuse me. That's all we have. He either has it or he doesn't. Leader effect, 2K, 1K, 1K, 1K. He did not have it. Good game to my opponent there. I'm going to tell you right now, this Shigan Finger Pistol right here saved our butts, guys. Like I said, I could have been playing a little more defensively for sure. And that would have then we wouldn't have had to have it save us, right? But after seeing how aggressive this list was, it's like, wait a minute, we're not going to let that happen again, guys. Hey, you know, they almost got us on this one, but hey, they messed up big time not swinging with the character first. If they swing with their character first there, then it wouldn't have mattered if I get rid of it because he can swing with his leader afterwards. I can't remove his leader like that. Good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. Okay, let me see. We went through the whole thing, right? Yeah, okay. All right, last but not least, I think we got one more game here. Yeah, we got a game versus Blue Yellow Nami. Okay, Blue Yellow Nami, full speed, or speed is 2x, full speed ahead, right? We got the volume off, speed's on 2x, here we go. Blue Yellow Nami is kind of a menace, I'm not going to lie. Blue Yellow Nami is kind of a menace, but if we can turn off their own play effects and start looping our 10 cost characters, I think we'll be okay. They're going to swing in for 8 here, we're just going to take that. We're going to go ahead and swing in here. We're going to do some searching. I'm looking for the stage, or I'm looking for the 1 cost event. We didn't see it anywhere, that's unfortunate. Now we're going to swing for 6, and we're probably just going to play out a Doc Q. Okay. Swinging for 5, 6, or, 5 and 6 is the same number here because they can just trash a card. It doesn't matter. Okay, we're going to go ahead and trash a card from hand, play out the Doc Q, and we're going to pass turn. Now, are they going to be smart and get our... Yeah, I was going to say attacking Lafitte is the right call here because we're trying to find the stage. We're trying to find more searchers. I run 10 of them. Some people are saying I should run 12, I'm sure. But I'm just saying, I run 10 of them. We're just not seeing them. So we do get rid of the Basil Hawkins with a black hole. So now that card is gone. Like, we did not lose a life from it. We're going to swing for 7, and it's going to be our opponent's turn. They're going to 2K, 1K to get out of this. 2K, 2K. Actually, that was really good for us. Okay, remember, they don't have any on play effects, guys. Let's see what they choose to do here. Okay, and I see they have 4 Dawn left. That makes me very happy because I have a Van Augur in my hand. So if they're going to play out a 4-cost card, we're going to be able to get rid of it easily. Now, that's less than ideal that it's a Basil Hawkins, because if we get rid of that, it just hurts us a little bit. But I still think it's probably the right call. We're going to trash a Doc Q here to turn off their own play effects. We're probably just going to swing for 8. Actually, we're just going to do this now. Yeah, just get this card out of the way. We'll trash a life card. It was a Marshall D Teach, but we have 2 more in hand. We're going to swing for 8. This is going to cost a card from hand and a 2K counter to get out of this. They give us a Kikinojo and a Zeus. So that's pretty good. All right, so now they're going to play out the Eustace Captain Kidd for 8 Dawn, swing for 6. We're going to 2K counter out. And here we go, guys. We made it. We survived. We're on the 10 Dawn turn. It is time to shut down our opponent's leader effect here. Now, I need to play this out first. Boom. Use that. Nullify their leader effect. Now they can't trash a card in order to go plus 2,000 for the turn. So swing 5. They have to counter out of this, or they don't. Gum Gum Red Rock. That's unfortunate. They bottom deck my Doc Q, but we don't really need him right now. Okay, so we swing in for 6 there. That goes through. They're going to swing in for 8. And this is actually getting pretty ugly, guys. These rush characters, that's the way to beat Blackbeard, is go aggressive, aggressive, aggressive into them. They're going to swing 8, swing 8. We block 1. It looks like we might take this one. We have 11. We have 6K counter in hand. We're doing this intentionally, guys. So right here, we're going to swing 12 into 8. He's probably just going to let that go. Let's see if he does or not. Just waiting on our opponent here, guys. Just waiting on our opponent here. Okay, they're going to zero cost 3K and 2K to get out of it. That's fine. We're going to play out another one. We're going to nullify the leader's effect again. We're going to make it where the Eustace Captain Kid cannot attack next turn or use his effect. And now we're going to swing for 5. This is obviously going through. They get a Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger. Unfortunate, but next turn we should be able to wrap this up. Remember, guys, they only have 2 attacks, right? We have a blocker, a life, and 11K in hand. Okay, so right here, I'm doing the math. Okay, I guess I'll just block, right? Or we'll take it. We'll just bait him into it because there's nothing else he can really do here. Because I have 2, 4, 6, 7. I can get out of a 12K attack right now, or I can get out of an 11K attack. So we'll just block this. We'll give him a 2K. He was hoping to get at least one of my characters off the board. It's too late. We're going to swing 12. This will go through 100% of the time. And then even if it's a beige, it just doesn't matter. You're the one who should disappear in his hand from before. Good game to my opponent. This deck is a menace for sure. You know, blue-yellow Nami is a menace. But so is Blackbeard, to be fair. So is Blackbeard. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and break down the deck list for today's video one more time. I want to kind of tell you guys what I'm thinking, where my mind's at right now. I think ultimately I'm going to be dropping this Kuzan down to 2. Because it was a nice card, and I can search it up pretty consistently with all the stuff I have in here. But I found myself not really needing this card very often. I guess it depends on if you're playing in the OP10 versus OP11 format and what your matchup is. I'm sure that's the main factor to consider. But ultimately, I wasn't really caring for this card very much. There was a lot of times I was just using this, just trashing it with my leader effect to get, or trashing this for my leader effect. I guess, which is not the worst thing in the world because it doesn't have any counter on it, so it's kind of dead in hand anyway if you're not playing it out. Excuse me, but I know a lot of people were really high on this card, like really high up, like thinking this is going to be a really, really good card for the for Blackbeard. I'm probably going to be dropping this down to a 2 of. I'm just saying, guys, going forward, I think we're going to be down to a 2 of, and then I can even go up to 2 more of the stages from there, right? I can go up to 4 stages, 4 Lafitte, and 4 This Is My Era. That's probably the immediate first change I'll be making to the list, but I also want to move a few other cards around. Very happy with the Van Augur because it's a 1K counter, worst case scenario. It's a 5 cost 6K that I can pull out with this Kuzan. And yeah, it also has cost reduction built in. That's going to allow me to hit bigger targets with my Shigan Finger Pistol and the Liberation. Okay, or excuse me, the Black Hole. But I could see myself going down to maybe 3 of these. But notice, guys, we're not running Ice Age anymore because that's banned, right? I wasn't running it to begin with. But we're not running. We don't have Ice Age in here. We don't have. I mean, we could consider trying to fit in Haute Couture Patchwork, which has an incredible trigger and it's a -3. We could also try to fit in Tempest Kick because we fill up our trash pretty effectively, pretty consistently. But we'll have to see. So we'll probably keep Van Augur as a 4 of for now. I am a fan of this card, and it's a 1K counter in hand, worst case scenario. I like the Burgess in here. The Shiryu is a 2K counter. Now, speaking of that, let me just add the Caribou before I forget, because we're going to need to make some revisions here. But we still have Shiryu and Stronger. Everything else in the list I'm pretty happy with, but we might be able to go down here to Liberation, or what should be called Black Hole, I believe. I think we might need to get rid of this card, dropping it down to a 2 of. Not fully getting rid of it, just dropping it down to a 2 of. And then what that opens up the space for is dropping down 2 Shiryus, because I think we want to keep Stronger. Again, Stronger has more cost reduction. We will take that. We can get it. It's a -2. We trash this card and a card from our hand to do -2 cost to a character for the turn. And if we combo that with something like Van Augur, that ends up being a -5. And then we can hit pretty much anything in the game with a Shigan Finger Pistol, or even something like a Liberation. Or, dang it, I keep calling it Liberation because that's what it says on here. I think this one is technically called Black Hole, and this is Liberation. But I do want to go up the 4 Caribou. I am a big fan of this card. Shiryu is really good as well. The 4-cost one, the 4-cost version of Shiryu, I really like this card. And I could even see myself going up one of these. I could honestly see myself going up 1 or 2 of these. And in the way that I'm playing this version of the deck, I might even drop down -1 Liberation and go up another Shiryu. That is something I'm considering. I'm not there yet. I haven't worked that out yet, or at least going up one more Liberation, this card here. But I'm a big fan of what this card is doing because it allows us to play it out really early on and get a body on the board. So now we're getting 2 attacks in, and we're starting to win back the value game, because remember guys, we're having to trash a card from our hand every single turn, starting on like turn 2 or 3 a lot of the times. So like getting this card on the board as a 4-cost 7k, if my opponent wants to dedicate 2, 3, 4 Dawn to getting rid of this card, be my guest, because I have other cards coming down later like Van Augur, you know, Burgess. I have other cards coming down they're gonna have to try to deal with as well. Okay. So other than that, though, I do like this card quite a bit. It also, think about this into the blue-purple Luffy matchup. We can just use this to pop their 3-cost Zoro Juro if that lines up like that. So it would be nice to go up 2 of these. Some other cards I do want to like just put in everybody's radar. Tell me what you guys think about these cards. Where is it? It is Haute Couture Patchwork. We talked about this. We talked about the Tempest Kick. So these 2 cards for sure. Keep these cards in your mind. I think these are going to be very solid potential cards to add into the deck. And then it's just a matter of finding the room, right? And then there's 2 other cards I really think we should... There's really 3 other cards I think we should consider, 2 or 7 cost. I think Luffy and Jack. I think these are going to be very, very good cards for what we're doing. And then the 9-cost Kaido. Those are the 3 cards I think we should really consider. And the more I think about it, guys... Maybe even the new 6-cost Luffy. Maybe this is decent in here because it cannot be KO'd. Remember, guys, once per turn, this character cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects. Now, after that, it can be, but it's a 6-cost 7k with a 1k counter. And then when attacking, you may place 3 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Then if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, your opponent trashes a card from their hand. So, I mean, this is a very serious card we should consider adding to the deck. But yeah. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now with it, guys. So there's really 4 main characters for us to consider. 6-cost Monkey D. Luffy, the 7-cost Monkey D. Luffy, and the Jack, and then the 9-cost Kaido. Those are cards we really need to consider. I think they're going to be very good going forward. And then, of course, the other cards I was talking about, the 1-cost events down here. Haute Couture Patchwork for a 1-cost -3, and the triggers draw 2, trash 1. And then, of course, so that was Haute Couture Patchwork. And then Tempest Kick is a 1-cost -3 and can draw you a card. But you have to have 10 cards or more in your trash to do the -3. You can always just pay 1 to draw a card, filling up your trash, and then trigger to KO a 3-cost or less. So tell me what you guys think. This is where I'm going to leave it for now, guys. This is kind of the direction I'm trending with the deck. I do want to go up the extra Hachinosas right here, but it was also, I didn't feel like it was debilitating not having 4 of these in my deck. I think we probably can get around having just 2 or maybe 3 of them. But again, if we want to run the full Searcher package, that's 12 cards, guys. 4 Lafitte, 4 Hachinosa, and 4 This Is My Age, or This Is My Era, and, you know, Full of Lead, or whatever they're called. That's a tough decision. That's all I'm going to say. It's a really tough decision. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Some cards I think are still absolute staples in here. I do think the Marshall D. Teach is a staple. I think the Van Augur, the Burgess, the stronger 2K is definitely a staple. I think Caribou is moving forward. I think this card's incredible. It kind of lets us replace Vasco Shot. Even though it's not searchable, I do think it kind of lets us replace Vasco Shot in a lot of ways. And I wasn't running Vasco Shot already, like to begin with. That's another card that could have really saved me in that one matchup we were talking about earlier against the Shanks. Having the 2-cost Vasco Shot could have made my life a lot easier. I do like having all the searcher power, even though I was only running 10 searchers. I think going up to 12 probably isn't the end of the world, because once we're going through all that searching, we're just blasting through our deck, generating card advantage, making them attack into us, and all that good stuff. So we'll have to see there. I think 10 2K, I want to go up to 10 2K counters, and having access to Caribou and OP11 is going to be a big deal. Before then, we don't have access to it before then. So for us over here in the West, everything else will be accessible, guys, by the way. Everything else is OP10 and before. Everything except Caribou. And so in the place of that card, you can probably just run... At that point, actually, guys, I think we should just go the Shiryu. Maybe One-Legged Toy Soldier. This is a serious consideration as well as the One-Legged Toy Soldier for more cost reduction. I have seen people run this, but then we also could potentially run something like the blocker, the little 2-cost blocker Vasco Shot. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section below. This is coming out in OP11. Not going to look at that right now. I think that's about it, guys. I think I'm about done with this. I guess there is another interesting idea to maybe try to run a blocker package within Blackbeard that could be kind of cool, using the Frankie here that can play out a 3-cost or lower Dressrosa type character wrested from your trash. This is something I did want to mess around with in the future, because then we get access to this 2K counter Bartolomeo blocker, the Frankie, of course, and the 2-cost Idio blocker, wherever that card is. I know I'm just looking right past it, I'm sure. There it is. You know, something like this 2-cost Idio blocker. That could be an interesting spicy tech decision to use in the future if they start becoming too aggressive for us on the field, right? If we're playing against decks that just start getting too aggressive, well, at that point, maybe we start dropping down the Marshall D Teaches, going up the Liberations, and then trying some type of Dressrosa blocker package. I think it could be really cool, because for those who are not aware what this card does, it's a 4-cost 5K 1K counter blocker that has on KO play up to 1 cost 3 or lower Dressrosa type character wrested from your trash. So remember, we can just trash cards with our stage, cards like Idio, or even counter out of stuff early on with Bartolomeo, fill up our trash, play this card down as a blocker, block with it, and now we have another blocker. They have to swing more attacks into it. I think it does have some potential there going forward. We'll have to mess around with that. We'll have to see what happens there. But okay, that's about it, guys. I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. Let me get the outro page on here. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. What do you guys think about me not running the Ice Ages even before they were banned? Am I too crazy for that, guys? Not running Vasco Shot, not running Ice Age? Am I already too crazy for that? Well, you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Just please be nice. Please be respectful. Now, real quick, guys, if you're supporting me in any way, shape, or form, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, anything like that, if you're using my TCG affiliate link, if you're supporting me through Patreon, PayPal, donations, if you're getting the playmat, becoming a YouTube member, hopping on the Discord and being a part of that community, whatever you're doing to help me out and support me, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. All right, I'm done. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, like I said. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below. And hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, guys. Peace.